Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Tim and Bennett, yep, just Tim, just Bennett, with Matt Demaio and Rudy Reyes from Condition 1 Bar. Matt Demaio is that right, Matt? Demaio?
Yeah, Demaio.
Is the CEO and co-founder of Condition 1, a veteran-owned and operated startup company that has developed one of the best tasting, and I've had one, so I can attest to that, and so is Tim, healthy bars on the market. Matt also served in the Marine Corps as an 03, Yut. This coupled with his interest in health and fitness have produced the spirit of the brand and product with both military and athletes in mind. Condition 1 bars. Now, the other gentleman we have here is Rudy Reyes, who really doesn't need a introduction, but Rudy is an author, martial artist, fitness trainer, model, actor, motivational speaker, scout sniper, Marine recon operator, and basically all around badass. With all that said, though, Rudy is not only a true warrior, but possesses a warrior soul. Rudy inspires with his courage, passion for life, commitment to the health and protection of those around him. He's quite empathetic, which is one of the things that him and I have common, and I love it. Dedicated father, brother, leader, teammate, and is truly one of the most humble people that I've ever met and know. Brothers, welcome to Cigars and Sea Stories. How the hell's it going?
Thank you. It's going well.
Thank you so much, bros. I'm honored to be here. And again, anytime I am involved with veteran projects that are initiated by our freaking passion, our hard work, our love for the brotherhood, for the service, and for the country, anything I can do to make that the narrative, not the negative stuff you hear about veterans and what's going on in the VA, but positive things. I'm honored to be here, bros.
Awesome.
Same here. It's actually a pleasure, privilege.
Yeah, all of it, bro.
It's always great to come on and talk about what we're doing and just kind of swap stories and bullshit.
Yeah, man. That's what this is all about.
Hey, and Bennett, you forgot to mention that Rudy is the sexiest man alive.
He's so good looking.
He even makes the rest of us.
I think
so
sexy. There's a saying, it's not gay if you think Rudy's hot.
Yes, there is.
On my first deployment in Afghanistan, or I was on the 15th Mule, the first time, these mother frappers in my freaking team and in my platoon, Zoolander came out, and they would not stop saying, "Hey, Rudy, so hot right now." Rudy.
There's nothing wrong with a little blue steel once in a while.
Oh yeah,
nothing wrong with a little blue steel once in a while.
Oh, for sure. And we'll talk later about Force Blue. I just heard from my platoon commander, my very first platoon commander, who is now Lieutenant Colonel Dill. He was Lieutenant Dill back in the day. He just gave up 1st Recon Battalion. Now he's moving into another duty. He was the CO. I mean, this is a brother of mine, a hero of mine. He hit me up yesterday about Force Blue. He saw it in a scuba thread, and he's super excited to be involved. And he says, "Hey, Rudy, but I gotta tell you, bro. I know your yoga and your gymnastics is on point, but your photographs looked a little staged." And of course they were. I was modeling, And he goes, "You ought to think about calling it Force Blue Steel next time."
Nice.
Anyway, it's it's all with love, but yeah, they bust balls.
So awesome. Matt, tell us about Condition 1 bars, man.
Wow. Where to start? So I guess I'll start with kind of where it was conceived. I was out in the field in Africa. We were in Mozambique, and I think
holy Mozambique.
Yeah, fucking Mozambique.
Man, beautiful women. And if you ever went to Coconuts out there, that bar, club out there, them girls, before it was called twerking, they were masters of the twerk arts.
Yeah, but
do you remember?
Yeah, but I think like the AIDS rate there is like 25%.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Probably
I
even
used
more
to be
than
in
that.
places with 70% HIV, so I thought, that wasn't too bad.
Hey, those odds aren't bad.
Holy
Not at all.
crap, dude! You wrap yourself in a freaking sheet of plastic.
So, I mean, see, I think every Marine, every soldier can really kind of attest to being in the field and living off of beef jerky and packets of tuna and crackers and MREs. And I, for one, I always had Cliff bars and Metrix bars in my cargo pocket. And I'd be snacking on those, anytime we're on patrol or anything like that. And it just kind of hit me like, who's making something for us in what we do in the field? Something that's not for if you want to lose weight or be a bodybuilder, something that's going to give you quality carbs, healthy
And
fat.
something that tastes good too, right?
Yeah, and that's not chalky. I mean, the taste thing kind of evolved later. My primary goal in the beginning
Wasn't
was
it first
just,
all sport and performance in a sense, a real honest sport,
Yeah.
a performance and sustainability bar?
Yeah, it was just about giving good quality calories, protein, carbs, just a perfectly balanced bar.
A meal bar, if you
Yeah,
will.
that was stout enough to hold you over if you're in the field, because I know you get hungry as fuck.
Absolutely. Imagine
And-
the calories we're burning, when we're humping
Yep.
gear and you're
Yep.
thinking hard and you're sweating hard.
Yep.
We could eat basically the equivalent of 2 people's daily caloric intake
Oh,
when we're
shit.
young, hard devil dogs out there getting after it.
When we look at cold weather training, you'll easily go through 6 MREs in a day.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what
yeah.
you get issued when you go through mountain warfare training. So it was just that. It was that idea that there was nobody out there making something convenient for us to really eat in the field other than tuna packets. And I mean, I love chicken and salsa. That's probably my favorite MRE. But
And mine was chicken with cavatelli was mine.
but you can only eat that so much, and
Sure.
realistically, it's not always convenient to tear
That's
open
it.
an MRE
When
and
you're-
sit there and slurp on it when you're actually
Absolutely.
on patrol.
Tactically, that's another thing, right, Matt? You were like, well, tactically, what can go in your cargo pocket or in your freaking outer freaking sleeve pocket that you can get to in a tactical situation, in an LPOP, in a hide site, and be able to get your nutrition without having to break out the freaking the field. Of course, we already field strip our MREs, but still, you got to get the spoon out. You're freaking getting sloppy shit all over your optics. So again, it was really about performance and tactics when you started.
Yeah.
And how did it grow?
Convenience in the field. I mean, so I got back and it was just an idea at that point, and I had sat there kind of mulling it over for a while, and it was really just a side project. And I started making them in my kitchen, just fucking around. The first few were absolutely horrible. I mean, it was a disaster in the beginning, and it was kind of like, what the hell am I doing? And I kind of kept with it for a little bit. I had some good batches. I then called a nutritionist for the NSW out in Coronado, get a little bit of guidance on what my ratio should be in terms of fat, carbohydrates, protein, caloric intake. And she kind of gave me some good direction to work in. And then I came up with the concept, well, let me layer this bar. Let me have a layer of oats and almonds and then a protein layer. And I started working off that. They got pretty decent to a point where I wanted some friends and Marines to try them out. So I started sending them overseas to my buddy Phil, who was in Afghanistan at the time. And he started sharing them. And the feedback was great. It was like, dude, these are awesome. Send more. And that's when it kind of was like, maybe there's something there. Maybe
This could be a real business.
This could be something. And after that, it just evolved more and more to the point where we're at now. I'd gotten a baker. I'd called Rudy after that point. I was like, dude, there's something here. I want you to be a part of it. If there's anybody that's going to be the face of this company, it's you. It's fucking Reyes.
Yeah. Right.
And,
again, that expeditionary mindset that, anywhere you are, you have an opportunity to train, to improve your mental, physical, spiritual fitness, and to go along with it, condition 1, meaning magazine inserted, freaking round racked in the chamber and weapon on safe, but ready to rock.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I lived my life, and I thought it was a perfect marriage. So did Matt, and I jumped on immediately with full gusto. First of all, because Matt being a devil dog. Second, because he's been a true brother and friend for me in my transition out of the Marine Corps. We've known each other almost 10 years,
Yeah.
and it was a perfect fit, and it's a way to keep the team together. Again, even with your podcast here, this is for the brothers. This is for the veteran community to keep connected and to inspire those kind of relationships and those connections, because that helps our mental health, our spiritual health, our physical health.
Well, it's true. So true. It's like I literally look as episodes that we do on this is like therapy. It's literally like going to group to an extent.
Totally.
Yeah. So it's like we get on and I mean we've got it's also about weaving that web of frankly Marines. And other like-minded veterans, but the problem is there's just not as many that are as badass as Marines.
Well, you know how we are. You know how we do, baby boo.
Right. You've got a little bit of that, a little bit of Ranger here, a little bit of Special Forces there, a little bit of pararescue. So we're trying to weave this web of freaking awesome veterans and veteran entrepreneurs, and the whole mix. The one thing with this bar, though, guys, that I can't get over, and I never really looked at it until Tim just brought it up a few minutes ago, is the amount of protein that you're able to pack into a 3.5 ounce bar.
And how do
yeah, man, 50% of the daily value, dude, in one little bar. That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, the bar itself is pretty stout. When compared to a lot of other bars, like a Quest bar,
Yeah.
they're like 2 ounces. I mean, some other bars are 1.5 ounces, and they're putting 20 grams of protein. With a combination of we use whey protein.
Okay.
So that's in the top layer, that like the brownie layer or the lemon poppy seed layer that you'd eat. Plus, oats and almonds themselves are loaded with protein.
Yep.
Use real egg in the bar. So getting 25 grams in a 100-gram bar wasn't that was too challenging.
It's a full quarter of the bar is freaking protein, and that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
And that's the catch, is doing it so it tastes good, because how many of these bars and I've tried every freaking bar in the market,
we have,
and they all I'm down to 2, frankly. There's 2 that I eat. One is Condition 1 and the other one is Epic. I don't know if you guys know them, but
yes, they're meat bars.
Yeah, man, and it's
they're
pretty
really
crazy. But again, that's one of the other things, is that yours aren't too sweet. Does that make sense? Whereas in even the meat bar, how they make the meat bar so damn sweet, it's dried fruit and stuff. But either way, those I have to cut them with like cheese and stuff, because to me they're too sweet.
Gotcha.
Whereas,
almost like a pemmican, right? Like
it is. It basically is a pemmican.
Yeah.
When you're talking about bison and like dried cherry, or bison and cranberry and bacon and grass-fed beef and habanero with cherry, and it is a pemmican. You're very right.
What's so interesting, bros, Matt's been talking about this for some time this year. He says, Rudy, I want to make a savory bar. Our bars, we get so much feedback from the pro bodybuilding circuit and the CrossFit circuit, the athlete circuit, that they use our bars. They'll microwave them and then throw on some freaking vanilla bean frozen yogurt, and that's their dessert.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Right.
So we thought about doing something more along the line of a savory bar, more of a meat and something with some bite, with spice, and we're going to get there. I mean, this project has really evolved to many different flavors. My favorite still is, well, it's a close tie, really. I love my lemon poppy seed, and the impetus, the vision for that was our old lemon poppy seed pound cake in the MREs.
Right.
But also,
one of my favorite things in the MRE.
Dude, I would fight people for those things. Those are awesome.
That's the reason I made the lemon poppy seed bars. When I was thinking of flavors, I was like, lemon poppy seed pound cake. That's got to happen.
And of course, we all love
the MRE version plugs your butt, and yours doesn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, the peanut butter chocolate, we're not selling that one anymore, because our facility is peanut free. The bakery we have in Brooklyn, but that's going to come back. We're actually playing with a cashew butter and cashews to try to mimic the same taste.
And I prefer cashews, but there's something also really something special about peanut butter. I don't know, and it's more than just the peanuts. It's the peanut butter. Something about it, man. It just connects to that kid in you. It connects to that Reese's freaking peanut butter cup in you.
Right.
It just wants to tear it up, you know.
Well, see, so here's for me. I basically, I mean, we all know the different ways of eating and the whatnot, but for me, I'm a reformed fatty McFatterson. Over the last freaking 2 months, I've lost something, in the realm of 20 to 30 pounds, and just kicking it off. And one of the things, basically though, for me, I found out about 4 years ago that I have a gluten issue. I have a gluten sensitivity. And that was one of the biggest problems. I went completely paleo for about 2 years, never felt better in my life. And then I fell off the wagon when my family and I went and started moving all over the place. And it just became harder to became harder to cook, healthfully and whatnot, because we were in new areas and all this stuff. So now I'm back on the more primal paleo side of things. But what's so awesome for me is the only thing that makes me break that is truly going for once in a while with some rice or some oats, because they don't have gluten, right? And what's so cool to me is that these bars don't have any wheat or any of that stuff in there. So I love the fact that I can eat like 2 or 3 of them a week if I'm dying, you know what I mean? If I really need something to grab and I can't actually make a meal. It's freaking awesome. I commend you guys for getting it up and getting it straight, and I just freaking love it, man.
Oh, thank you.
I remember the first time I had a Condition 1 bar was I met up with you guys at the transition seminar that the Raider Project did back in April. Remember that?
Yeah,
and
Tim.
great event, by the way. But I remember you had one of the coconut ones.
Oh yeah, coconut chocolate, right? Or
Yeah. And so I'm not really a fan of coconut. I love chocolate. I'll eat me some chocolate, but
I'm the same way, bro. I don't like the texture of coconut. I like
isn't that funny?
Yeah, the dried shredded coconut. It's like, I can't do it. I never eat that stuff. But I had one in your bar, and I'll tell you what, man. I mean, the flavor was there, the coconut flavor. But even if you don't like shredded coconut, you're gonna like that bar. I was really impressed. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm actually on your website right now, placing an order for some apple cinnamon and some lemon poppy seeds as we speak.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, let's take a moment just to throw your website out there. If you could, go ahead and just tell us what the URL is for your website.
Oh, sure. It's gocondition1.com. We're on Instagram at GoCondition1, Twitter at GoCondition1, and Facebook at Condition1. And I'll tell you what, before you place that order, if you're going to place one, use promo code 0311.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it.
Put it out there. Put it out there, folks. 0311.
Nice.
They're nice.
I will, absolutely. Let me plug that in right now. Look there. I'm typing.
And it's so wild, brothers, that, Matt started this as, a project to better prepare and better sustain, the vanguard, the brothers on the front line. And now back home, it's really taken off in the extreme sport community. And we've got some tactical athletes. We've got bodybuilders. We've got martial artists, CrossFit folks. Everybody that gets involved and tastes the bar, feels the bar. First of all, it's food. It's not a damn, cookie cutter manufactured, pressed out, gooey ass, chalky lump of fake chocolate. It's real stuff, man. It's really exploding. Matt, can you talk about Shark Tank, about that process?
Yeah, I mean, well, they reached out to us a few months ago, so we have a whole packet of paperwork we have to fill out in a video that we have to make on there and to submit it. And that was really cool. I don't know if we're really allowed to mention that, but
I don't know. Well,
no NDA was signed. But anyway, it's really exciting just to be getting, some of the attention that we're getting as a company. It's a bit surreal sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of acceptance in the CrossFit community. I think they've gravitated towards the bar a lot. I really saw the operator really using this a lot, and we do get a lot of guys and we ship to like DPO and APO addresses and everything, but I think the CrossFit community, thus far has been the most receptive to the bar.
So Matt, it sounds like, when you first started this, it was more of a kind of a crusade or a personal mission of yours, I guess, to find a better way, right? And as you're messing around with it at home, trying to come up with a recipe that worked and all that, it sort of morphed into a business. Is that kind of right? I mean, you didn't really set out to be an entrepreneur in the beginning, did you?
No, it was just kind of, let me create something cool, something different, something better. That's where it started. I've always, as a kid growing up, I've always had my projects. I mean, shit from trying to build a boat to a go-kart to whatever. But I was never, like.
You were never a business-minded dude before.
Not really. No, it was,
Yeah. So how's
you
that
weren't
working out?
You weren't one of those guys that always like declares, I was born as an entrepreneur. Or
No,
whatever.
not at all, man.
Gotcha.
I did horrible in school. Totally had ADD. But I always had projects and stuff. I was
creative, bro. Matt's an illustrator as well. We both love to draw. I've always been on the creative side of the house myself, and I've kind of learned this whole business world when I got into Hollywood, and really the confidence, the self-esteem, the ability to communicate your passions, and then of course follow through and due diligence. I mean, it's all the same stuff that we know in mission planning, rehearsals, and execution in the Marine Corps. It's really the same things. It's more challenging to find a group of hard chargers and men and women that you can trust with your life and would die for you. That's what we have in the Marine Corps. But out here in the business world, it's slim pickings to find that caliber of person, but they do exist. And I'm finding that here in the veteran community, that's a perfect freaking playground in which to bring these people into entrepreneurship, into small business, into following their passions in a way that make them independent operators financially.
Absolutely. All right. Because I feel like this whole journey that I've gone on now the last, like, basically 2 months, that I'm finally getting my mojo back. It's one of those things that people that have been at a high level, they understand. And then when they drop down, I mean, I got up to 309 pounds. And I mean, even at my best, the time when I was in battalion, I was still about 210. So I'm a bigger guy anyway, That's why I was a freaking 60 gunner in my team, because I could carry the freaking weight.
And bro, that dates you a little bit, brother. By the time I got in, the 60s were out. And
I know, man.
That's awesome, bro. Keep that pride, man.
When I was in the Army, we got the 240, because I went from the Marines to the Army, so we got the 240s in the Army. But I carried a 60 Echo for freaking 2 years at Second Recon, and that was always
bro. Man shit.
Yeah, so that was always a thing of pride. But saying this is because we used to always talk about, my wife and I was talking about the biggest equalizer for men for me, what I always saw was water. It was the pool. And so I said, if you really wanted to see what somebody was made of, put them in the water. Okay. So, but one of the things that I said, when you're in a community like we were in, being in the water with the guys that we were surrounded in made you almost feel invincible, because even if you did like have a shallow water blackout, or you took it to a point where you straight up were drowned, where you would drown yourself, you had enough confidence in the guys around you to bring you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, out in this crazy ass world that we live in, that doesn't grow on trees.
No, it's very rare. It's a rare breed for sure.
And that's the shit that I miss. But I've also feel like, for years I felt like I've gotten that back, getting into this veteran community that we're in, and just cultivating that, especially with business, entrepreneurship, and just doing the best that we can for each other. Yeah, man. I freaking love it, and that's what I live for, as Rudy and Tim and Matt. I know that you guys do as well. So it's nice to just make more connections and bring that spider web, even tighter.
It really is. I gotta say, we have an awesome community. I think this generation of veterans is really stepping up. We're doing great things. I mean, when I first got out, I was a veteran. But, the picture that came into mind was an old dude with a bunch of pins on his hat.
Yep.
And I never really looked
Yeah.
at myself as a veteran, and I really didn't engage much within the community when I first got out. I was like, go to college and just kind of fuck around. But the more I get involved in the community and the more I connect with other veterans, the better I feel. And you really get that feeling sometimes when I'm just hanging out with a bunch of vets, like you get when you were in the barracks.
Barracks life.
Yeah. That home feeling. It's just it's a comfort zone, really.
Yeah, I mean, with all the tomfoolery and bullshit aside, it's still like a true brotherhood.
Yeah.
I mean, and you just don't get other places, and it happens. Like there's guys that we served with that you haven't seen for 10, 15 years. Trust me, I know this because I've been out that long. These guys, it comes right back into it. And it's like you guys had never even been separated. So, yeah, man.
I mean, it's definitely, even with my close friends that I grew up with, it's still different than when I'm with a veteran. I mean, just something as simple as the type of sense of humor we have.
Oh, Jesus.
Certain things I just won't joke about with my regular friends.
Smoking and joking.
Yeah,
And, bro,
75, baby.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's so wild is, I'd say now, looking in the rearview mirror, that we as a community focus more now on the positive. And in some ways, it's even better than it was in the Marine Corps, because those that come to the table are there to really evolve, really improve, and help the next generation come up, and help the brothers that are struggling come up, instead of fuck you, you can't hack it, get the fuck out. It's, hey brother, I'm there for you, call anytime. We've got special networks on Facebook. We have nonprofits where the whole mission is always beside you. And it's a pleasure, bro, for me, and it's helped save my life. This community now has helped save my life, and I feel compelled to push that and pass that forward.
Yeah, and give back.
Yeah. Rudy, I think you mentioned something really important. When you say the guys that step up to the table, that's really something I've seen too. I've done this whole transition thing twice. I got out in the 90s, and that didn't work out so well. Came back in, did another 16 years, and here I am retired. And
so badass, bro.
One thing I can tell you. Well, yeah, I mean, but one thing I can tell you that's different the second time around that I didn't see any of the first time was the fact that there's so many guys that are stepping up and coming to the table. Mm-hmm. And it's important to say it that way, because it's not something that you have to do. I mean, you could get out and just disconnect and do whatever you want to do, but there's so many guys that are passionate, and they're stepping up to do something to make a difference. They want to continue to serve. They want to continue to make a difference, even though they're not obligated by anything to do so. Sure. And it's just really, it's an amazing thing to see, and to be a part of that community. The synergy that develops, when you have a group of like-minded people like that come together to do something for the greater good. It's just it's pretty amazing. Yeah, and I'm just really proud to be a part of all of this.
It is, man. It's wind in sail. It puts wind in the sails. It spirals upward. It really spirals upward. Look at Matt. Talk about some of the different communities that have come together with Condition 1, and everything I do, I bring in Condition 1. Oh, yeah. Every time Matt's got something going on, he brings in Rudy Reyes, as in the brand, looking for opportunities for me to be speaking or being a spokesmodel. And with Beyond Clothing, big shout out to Beyond Clothing. They've done so well for me. We ended up cross-pollinating with Condition 1. I've got my own nonprofit, 501c3 Force Blue. And it's a commando.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Oh, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But I bring Matt into everything I do too, and it's just growing this family that's spiraling upward. We have Wes Whitlock. Yep. We have Bert Soren from Sorenex, who employs 40 veterans. We have TRX Randy Hartrick, We've got 5'11".
Oh yeah, Mr. Kilt.
Yep, Tom Davin. Bro, it's so wild. We've got the older echelon of commandos and veterans and warfighters from the 80s and early 90s that are now really, really established in big business. And they are coming to us and we are coming to them and we're firing them up again. They've been in
it's pretty
boardrooms
awesome.
and suit ties for a long time.
Right.
And now they're seeing these young, hard warfighters coming forward as entrepreneurs and they're fired up and they're supporting us. So this is really a special time to be a veteran in this freaking country.
That
Absolutely.
actually too. It's what's been really awesome, and I've experienced this time and time again, is speaking with other veteran business owners and other veteran entrepreneurs who are 10 steps ahead of where I am.
Rick Elders,
Yeah.
the Tom Davins, the Randy Hartricks.
Yeah, we're just
Right.
willing to do whatever they can to help you.
Like bend over backwards.
Yeah, like,
Very
dude,
much
hey,
so.
brother, what do you need? How can I help?
Wes
You know,
Whitlock has been that way.
passing on, I mean, just spending time and passing knowledge on. It's there, you know. And I think that does attest to kind of how we're built when we're in, because, you know, you don't join any service, any branch of service really for selfish reasons. And when you're immersed in that community, you learn selflessness. And I think that carries on for many of us upon separation, especially when you get involved in the community again. A lot of those, which comes back.
Well, and look what you're doing, Bennett. And Tim, thank you again that's a lot of service, bro. We know as freaking ground pounders, that's a long time, brother, in boots. And
You ain't bullshitting for him,
you
man.
know, I mean, that's a long time.
And he's a very humble gentleman. He might even be more humble than you, Rudy.
Oh, that's
Frankly, I mean, what, all 3 recon battalions, Tim?
damn, bro.
No, just second and third. But
Second
I
and
was
third.
not a recon marine.
I know you weren't, but it doesn't matter. You were still you're a hog, scout
Yeah,
sniper.
back in the day.
Back in
From
the
way
day.
back.
Just like me,
Yeah.
I was a recon guy back in the day. But
Sure, me
shit.
too. Back in the day, I mean, I still dream that I am like, you know, I still at least every 3 days I have some badass dream inserting in some fucking hot LZ.
Right, but look at the shit you deal with, Tim, from your service. I mean, he's a freaking jump master. You know, that doesn't go as many times as you've jumped. Doesn't go without breaking your fucking body, and you did
That's
that
right.
for the Corps and your fucking country. So, and your brothers that you made sure were safe doing that shit. So, much props. You can say,
it now.
right? You can say you weren't, you know, a recon guy, but how many guys did you teach how to halo?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm proud
Yeah.
of it.
No, and you should be. So I always, you know, it's one of my things that I always get on you about is to give yourself fucking credit. And I love you to death, but you know.
And Bennett, what's so badass though, also about us type of war fighters and us type of men is, you know as well as I do, what's most profound is how your brothers speak of you and speak upon your service and how you conduct yourself and how you conduct ops. Even our training ops, if you guys remember back in the day before the wars on terrorism,
Nightmare.
that gave you all the props in the world when you come out on formation or you're hitting the gym with the other guys from other teams. There used to be such team rivalry, always platoon rivalry, always, and how you conducted yourself and how your brothers talked about you when you would walk away and say, hey, that motherfucker runs legit ops. That is what we do it for. And we're still doing that to this day. It's always freaking pumping each other up and helping each other out going forward. And again, it's my freaking honor and pleasure to be doing it.
For sure.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I mean, our community is so small. It's the same now, you know. As an entrepreneur, I mean, you fuck up and everybody knows.
Oh, sure.
Community.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
you
man.
guys know.
You do bad business
Yep.
in our community now. Everybody knows.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
And there's a lot of our brothers that are not afraid to call you out and
On a daily.
take an example of you.
Which is kind of good though. I like the fact that if you fuck up, you get called out, and at least you get most of the time you get the you have the ability and the time, and it gives you the opportunity to adjust fire. and possibly
Right.
unfuck yourself. You know what I mean? Just like
and that's what we say, right? Hey, fucking unfuck yourself, Marine. I mean, that's, and then we do. And those that don't, they find their way out of our community.
right, but they don't last. So that's
How
the
big you
thing.
get the label of being a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't be the fucking falcon, man. Don't be the freaking big BF. Freaking do not become taking a thing from Ranger Up saying what is it? The Noble Order of the Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
Don't be
Well,
one
Rudy,
of those guys.
Rudy was mentioning some of the private Facebook pages, social media and stuff like that. And one of the things that is actually a little disappointing to me, that's prevalent in the veteran community at large, not any specific community, I don't think, but it's just kind of out there. There's a handful of that population that they spend most of their time looking to call somebody out for like stolen valor or exaggerating their resume or whatever, and that's where they spend all their energies. But on the flip side of that, though, I think that's just a small handful that make that their focus. But there's a lot of guys, I've seen here recently, there's some guys that called somebody out for something that could have been a legit complaint. The guy, it all got aired out, and the guy that was in question fixed whatever it was needed to get fixed. And when it was all said and done, the guys that initiated this whole thing came back and said, "Hey, look, he's done what he needed to do. He's good to go in my book." And that's kind of that. That's just like it is on active duty. You do an op, you go do your hot wash or your after action, and it doesn't matter how jacked up it was or how awesome it was. You still got to tear it apart and break it down to the bare bones to see what could have been done better. To make improvements. That's how you get better. You can't have a thin skin. And even here in the veteran community now, we have thick skins, but guys are still forgiving when you're able to adjust and go do the right thing after you've been called out. So
square your shit away.
Yeah, it's one of the things I like about.
For sure, Tim. I remember, at the transition seminar, Matt and I were having a drink with you at the bar, and we were talking. And what was so badass? Again, we were all talking about opportunities. We were talking about how to improve our station, how to improve our family life and our physical fitness, our business. Still, the driving force is so absolutely positive. And maybe also, as you two bros can attest, there was something very special about the recon community and the sniper community. I do a lot of work now, a lot of good work with the Recon and Sniper Foundation. They are a faceless and nameless kind of organization, and all they want to do and all they do is outreach work and facilitate the brothers and their families to get back on track. And that's what we're all doing every day of our lives, because it feels right, and we came up in cultures that were positively motivated. I mean, I rarely remember showing up at the unit ever with a bad attitude. We were always stoked to fucking go PT, to wear our little black on black, and then smoke and joke in the barracks, waiting for word, even though we knew some kind of bullshit, like going to the armory and cleaning weapons was going to be coming down. It was still always laughing, the fucking Godsmack playing loud, and just living the freaking life, man. And I don't see those communities changing.
No, I mean, how awesome is it that for me, I use this as an example all the time. I literally, for the first, the 4 years that I was in the Marine Corps, got paid to get up on the beach.
Yeah.
Because this is when Recon was still out at second was still out at Onslow Beach.
Great days.
So get up, go for a run on the beach, and then get boats out and go freaking zip all over freaking New River, or get in some helos and go helo cast, or just do high speed shit a lot of the time.
I know.
It was just, those were the days, man. And who couldn't be happy getting up to do that shit? I mean, we didn't have main side. We didn't have them. We didn't have any eyes on us.
Yep.
And we just did what the fuck we wanted out there. So those were the days. But,
For sure.
anyway.
Yeah, so good.
There is a flip side of the Marine Corps, though.
And
Yeah,
see,
there
I-
really is.
Never
There really is.
Selling recon real well right
Yeah,
now.
it's true, but it's true, bro. Brothers, I was never really in the real Marine Corps.
No,
I
neither
was
was I.
recon my whole career, bro.
Me too. It's like I always hear Mike Penny, who was in, was it 3.5?
No, he was with
3.7.
2.7,
2.7.
I think. One
Now,
1.7 or 2.7,
I think
whichever.
you guys were in Ramadi together, Rudy.
Yep,
I
yep.
think you guys were there in 05 together.
And it was hot, bro.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
hot. It was
yeah.
heavy times. Fallujah and Ramadi, I was bebopping around in that whole Sunni triangle and running shit to TQ as
Right.
it's bait for freaking, corrupt Iraqi police, war insurgents, and then heading over to freaking Fallujah, stop over at Shark Base, just really Wild West stuff. But man, it was so fun,
Right.
You hear the excitement in your voice, man.
It's so wild, yeah.
Let's go back and do it again.
There's this great cat, Sniper First. He's old school. He was in Desert Storm. Vinny Marzi. I think he's just now retiring now, and he's at MARSOC. He came back in, had some broken time, eventually made it to recon. He's a prestigious operator, Vinny Marzi. And he would always, I'd say, hey, bro, how's it going? And he would just say to me, killing. I mean, he just loved to always say killing. What you up to, bro? Killing. I don't know. It's a wild freaking community, and it's all out of
We're
love.
a bunch of shenanigans and bullshit, man. It's so funny though.
It is, but you best be a hard charger. And what was really special again about the sniper and recon communities that I was involved with is that everyone was absolutely excited about work, about mission, and about improving their craft individually, as a team, and as a platoon. It rocked, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I
Jeff,
got
go ahead, Tim.
got an
Sorry.
opportunity to serve in 3rd Recon and then 2nd Recon, and then at MARSOC, all three of them, I was a parachute rigger for those
Awesome.
guys, and some of the coolest dudes I ever worked with in those units.
Very
And,
humble, very professional, very intelligent, and we're seeing all the cream rising to the top now. Our entrepreneurial community within the veteran community, especially in the Marines. I'm telling Marine Corps, because we've always been very motivated, and in initiative being a precept of leadership.
Well,
right?
Well, I mean, for me, and I think this will speak from anybody who's been in service, a 14-hour day is not, it's normal.
Yep.
It's not a big.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes
You
to
get
be a
out,
success, man.
And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, get used to having 14-hour days.
Uh-huh.
And I think
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what separates veterans and veterans, Marines, Army from regular civilians.
Yeah, I mean,
Except-
you're so right.
Whatever needs to get done is just going to get done, and there's not really I'll stop working until it's done.
That's
And
right.
That's it.
Bros, I was out in Montauk this morning. I got up at like 04:30, jumped on the train at 05:30 so I could be here on time with you guys, because it's mission first, man. Mission first and troop welfare. But if you do mission correctly, that is the troop welfare.
Yeah, for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm honored to be here with you all, and it's so badass how the cross pollination.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know so many of the same people.
I
It's
know,
like scary
man.
as shit, actually. I mean, it's just one of those things, especially. And then, like Tim and I, we actually know, we met at the entrepreneurship boot camp for veterans at Syracuse University. That's where this whole relationship between Tim and I kicked off. Man, since I met him, boom, it was like, let's go, let's do some shit, let's get it done. And a lot of people that Rudy knows, and I know, it's just that again, what do they say? Birds of a feather flock together.
That's
So
right.
the shit just happens, man. It comes together.
It's a tight
Yeah.
community.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
even like with guys like Mike Kim, Rudy, seriously,
Yeah.
the fact that you know him and I work with, it's
He's a
small
true brother.
freaking small
He's a true
freaking
brother.
world though. That's all I have to say.
It
on
is,
that.
and a shout out to Michael Kim. He does great stuff on his radio show, and he does stuff great personally with all of us.
Who
And
I
help
think
veterans.
3 of us have been a guest on. Weren't you
Uh-huh.
on his show too, Tim?
Yeah. Great
so-
time, man. Good discussions.
And he's at the VA hospital. He does everything he can to help veterans.
His whole life is
that system
revolves around it. So.
And it's such a hard, broken up system, but he's still fighting on the front lines for us. And it's an honor to call him my brother. And his transformation in the last year has been magnificent. We just all got to do karaoke together the other day, had some drinks. Sang some Temple of the Dog.
Not just any karaoke, Korean karaoke.
Korean, they take it so
Yeah.
Some of it because they'll have music videos for the song you're playing, but it's not the original music video. It's this made up Korean music video.
Right.
It's a Korean
nothing to do with
Korean
what the song is about.
a Korean telenovela. A Korean telenovela.
That shit is so funny.
Of unrequited love and a marriage and a wedding and then some guy crying. That's the video for every song. And but when you're 2 or 3 bottles of tequila down, nobody cares.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Oh, bro, it was so fantastic. And you know what? My bro Wes Whitlock with Rogue American Apparel.
That's a good dude.
A great dude and a great Marine Corps transformational story. A freaking straight up grunt, went through some heavy indoctrination systems and became quite great work, and then took his GI Bill, went to school in Italy, studied design and art, and then created Rogue American Apparel. His day job was Dell Computers, and then he's doing.
I think it was a different Dell.
He was that other Dell. All right.
The other Dell.
He eventually let go of the contracting world, went fully into his dream. It's really turned into something. And what he told me last time we were together, he says, Rudy, I love planting seeds, stepping back and watching them grow.
Damn,
and I know when I'm old.
That's awesome.
Isn't he special? And when I'm old, and when I'm tired, those seeds, they'll be huge trees, and they'll provide me some shade to take it easy and sit down. And anyway, he's just a real special guy, and you find that with the Randy Hartricks, with the Rick Elders, with the Tom Davins, and with the Matt DeMayos, and you know, people like us, our generation that's coming up and doing great things for each other, for our families, and to pass it forward. That was also part of what I put together Force Blue to do as well.
Tell us about Force Blue before we have to wrap it up.
Sure, bro. I'm so proud of this. You guys know it's a challenge to go through that 501c3 process.
We run our own, and it's the Warrior Hall, and it's kind of brutal.
It is brutal, and from a guy who never came from a business background, actually, because I grew up in a boys' home and I grew up impoverished as an impoverished American, I was always kind of mistrustful of money and business, and I always felt a little bit afraid of it. I would have never imagined 20 years ago that I would be in this position that I'm in now. We have this great fundraiser that's happening in Dallas on September 26th, and Ross Perot Jr. is going to be there. Trammell Crow is facilitating it. He's a $20 billion freaking land developing tycoon in Texas, who also is a green and an eco-warrior friendly guy too. So he's a Republican and a businessman, but believes in saving the planet. So he's taken on Force Blue, and you can check us out at forceblueteam.org. The premise is buoyancy, betterment, and belonging. And these are the things that we had in our teams. Gents, you remember, we had the confidence to be totally in the spirit, gung-ho spirit of our mission. We had belonging, we were all together, and we were improving ourselves, always betterment. So that's the precept of Force Blue. We're taking military divers, even from foreign services, from Australia and from England. But we've got a Royal Marine Commando who's going to be on our very first splash mission that myself and legendary PJ Roger Sparks, also Recon Marine. We've got a great SEAL named Jeff Reeves. We have also NSW CAT and VSW, Very Shallow Water program. Nate Smith is going to be on this freaking evolution, and we're finding a female EOD diver as well to show the world that veterans are not just dudes in multicam ball caps and beards, but they're every one of us. They're freaking your brother, your sister, your dad, your son, and
we're not all pipe hitters.
Yeah, but well, we're all the pipe hitters that happen to be your dad, your son, right? Your brother. And we're using our skills, and you guys know there's no better aquatic warriors, there's no better trained divers in the world than our divers. And we're using these skills and bringing the team back together, if you will, bringing the old freaking platoon back together to rebuild first coral reefs. I see this thing over 10 years. We've partnered with the Cousteau Society. We have the science behind us. We have the brotherhood behind us. And damn straight, we've got a mission. I could see us having like react force, like little commando teams that can help with oil spills, that can help in situations of flooding and natural disasters. Using our freaking abilities as warriors and as highly trained smart weapons to really make a difference for each other and for the planet.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Man, bro,
awesome.
I'm so stoked.
So
honored. And there's just going to be a continual school. We're building a schoolhouse down in Cayman's, and we're going to create, teams throughout the years, and it's going to be sustainable, and it's going to be something that improves the planet, improves ourselves, and definitely you guys got to come down once we get this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
oh hell yeah, dude.
Cayman Islands, I don't have to be
Oh,
sold
it's
on that.
wonderful. It's wonderful. And I'm just so excited. Jim Ritteroff, Keith Somm, also one of our founders. He is the Coast Guard rescue swimmer that Kevin Costner's character in The Guardian is based on.
Ah, right.
It's just fantastic, bro. We're getting all the freaking best of the best with freaking love in their heart, and also, we all got our scars too from our service. But that freaking salt water and that belonging, it heals those scars, and that's what Force Blue is about. So everybody out there, just check out forceblueteam.org and get involved.
Hey, where else can we find you at, Rudy?
Bro, you can find me at rudyreyes.com. That's the website. Much love to Adam.
Fucking everywhere should be your answer.
Yeah, it seems that way, right? I'm doing great stuff at Beyond Clothing. I'm doing acting and spokesmodel work, also philanthropy for my veteran community, and I help with an orphanage in Kenya that does karate. So I'm still involved in my martial art community. I have aspirations of writing, of production. I talked with the guys at We Are the Mighty, and those are all veterans who are moving into production.
Right, yeah,
I want to do stuff that really continues the message forward, the narrative forward, and gives jobs to our people.
Yeah, man, for sure. Hey, Matt, where can we find you?
Well, if you want to reach out to me, info@gocondition1.com, or just go to gocondition1.com, and I have some contact info there. At Demaio Amar is my personal IG. I can be reached there.
And of course, anytime you find me, you find Matt right there too.
Yeah, I'm usually this guy.
That's right.
And I have links on all my social media, on my Real Rudy Reyes, on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, website. I'm honored to be considered a founding partner, a founding team member of Condition One, and I take it with great pride. And that's why I work so hard for Matt and for Condition One. And really,
well, you've been instrumental in this thing growing.
Thank you, bro.
That's one thing I can say. I'm fucking really fortunate to have an awesome team and awesome veterans and brothers helping me push this thing forward. So it wouldn't.
Well, it's an awesome idea and an awesome product, man. What's next? What's the next big thing for Condition One?
Next year, we're going to push into some small retail stores. Right now, we're going to start doing some fundraising and open up our own facility so we can accommodate for the demand we have from these small CrossFit gyms and boutique gyms around the country.
Oh, tell them about Gunnar Peterson.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been ordering bars from us.
The Gunnar Peterson. the most famous, talented, and progressive personal trainer of the last 30 years, really. Stallone's trainer, Brad Pitt's trainer. He loves Condition 1. And
that's awesome.
It's so cool when Gunnar Peterson's name comes up on the order format, right? And
that's awesome.
12-year-old school goes, Rudy, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, I can't believe it. I mean, it's just so wonderful to see this watershed happening.
It is. It's
That's
definitely,
sweet, man.
It's kind of what I chase right now. I really chase the reactions that I see when people try the bar. That's kind of what keeps me going.
We've got a couple other great athletes that are supporting and ambassadors of Condition 1.
Yeah, so I don't know if we just started working with, and he hasn't really put anything on his IG yet. We're just working on getting his own site up. But Tony from Real World Tactical, what an awesome. He's going to help push the brand forward. Meredith Burns, she's a phenomenal NPC figure competitor.
I saw you hobnobbing with Kai Green.
Oh yeah! Oh,
what a humble dude!
And
that dude is an animal, and he's freaking like does it as like a warrior monk, freaking
totally
Shaolin. It's nuts.
Really
anyway.
Cool dude. Yeah, I mean that was the Vow workout.
Yep.
I love his artwork too, man. I love his artwork too. Kai Green.
Brother, he's a real actualized human being, and you're finding that in our community of entrepreneurship and sport and outreach, these are all really high functioning, artistic and actualized people. And that is why we are gravitating towards each other and then planting seeds and then creating those new trees that are going to do the same thing.
All right, guys, I've got to wrap it up. I don't want to, but I've got to.
No.
So, guys, check out Rudy Reyes. Check out Matt Demaio, condition1.com, rudyreyes.com. Check out everything that they're doing out there. Subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM. If you want to be on the show, go ahead and just reach out. Let us know. Michael at cigarsandseastories.com, contact at cigarsandseastories.com, and let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know who you want to hear. Getting out there, kicking ass, taking names. So on that note, cue the music.